Hi and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time on this channel, you're welcome. I am A.H.P. I'm an author and I also do business. Now today's video is basically for that part of my channel where we talk about real life issues, okay? Real life issues, and this segment has been what's called, I haven't done this part of my channel for a very long time. That's because I've just been focusing on business, okay, like business, sorting out my business, and therefore that is why like there is mostly business content only, well, only for the last couple of weeks or coming to a month on my channel. And so apart from the welcome videos here and there, I haven't done any real life issues video, but this has been on my heart for a very long time to share. And for those of you who don't know, I am Ugandan, but I also live in the UK. Okay, so this channel, this particular video is just going to be based on an issue that a lot of African parents with British children normally complain about. Okay, and then we're going to do a children's one to follow, okay, where the children have their issue with their African parents, okay, British children with issues with their African parents. Okay, so basically for a very long time I get the opportunity to work with a lot of families, and you know, the parents often share their heart and all of that kind of stuff. And so I thought sharing this video, I'm not going to be mentioning any names or anything like that, but sharing this video would literally help quite a lot of parents, African parents out there with British children, especially those of you who are based in the UK. Okay, so African parents, they often feel that their British children are rude. They often feel that their British children are rude because, you know, the children may answer back, the children may ask for certain things that they don't know. African parents don't normally expect that from children, obviously because of their own background, where some of them may have not had the opportunity to respond to their parents, especially if they've been in trouble or they've been accused of doing something and stuff like that. So they don't often have the, for lack of a better word, privilege to voice their opinions, how they feel, their emotions, how to express themselves. You know, they don't often have the opportunity to express themselves to their parents. Okay, now they grow up with that mindset and they expect their children to do the same, and they move to the UK or any other part of the world and they expect their children to, you know, be the same. Whereas in the Western world, UK to be precise, gives children opportunity and young people opportunity to express themselves. So if you're in nursery, for example, they'll ask you, how do you feel today? You know, children ask that all the time. So they might say, I'm sad, I'm not happy, I was feeling poorly, which means I was feeling sick. So they have the opportunity, they're encouraged to express themselves, okay, to express their emotions, to voice their opinions, you know, or what do you think of this and what do you think of that, and what is the answer to this and what is the answer to that. So they are very vocal. Children are like in the Western world, they're very vocal and they're expected to be vocal. Okay, so when they now come home, the issue comes to the point where when they come home, their parents don't expect them to, you know, to voice their feelings. So they bottle up their emotions, a lot of their emotions, a lot of how they feel, a lot of their views, they keep it to themselves. Like, you know, they more share it with their friends and their peers rather than with their parents. Okay, unless of course you have the exception of parents who understand the importance of allowing children to allowing children and young people to express themselves, to um, you know, share their views and on issues, on certain matters and how they feel and all of that stuff. Okay. um, then it's different. You know, these children are different. You find that they're more confident, they're more outspoken, they're more able, they're more able to share how they feel. They're not shy, they're not timid, they're not intimidated, and all of that kind of stuff, which is good trait to have as children growing up, and because it feeds into their adulthood. um if I can share my own experience, I grew up in a place where you can't necessarily always express how you feel. You know, I didn't have people to express how I feel to. So a lot of my feelings was bottled up. And then when I got to, of course, older, it became difficult to express myself to people, especially when people expected me to express myself. Like, it doesn't mean that I didn't have the language to express myself, but I didn't feel like I could. And I felt intimidated a lot of the time, even up to like my 20s, until, of course, I got born again, and then God started, like, helping me to express myself to people, sharing how I feel and what I like and what I don't like and all of that stuff, because that also affects what children can say about what they like and what they don't like. So sometimes, most times, they have to just make do. They just have to get on with it. Like, whether they like something or they don't like something, they end up just going with the flow to please the adult. Okay. So now, when the Western British children, they come home, their parents may say, why have you done this? And the child could simply be like, well, my friends do this, or, well, I wanted to do this because I like to do this, or can I have this? And the parents will be like oblivious, like, what do you mean? Like, why are you responding, why are you answering back? And it's like, no, I'm not being rude, I'm actually just telling you how I feel. And yes, sometimes rudeness is rudeness, but sometimes it's just literally expressing how you feel, even when you're not being rude. It's deemed as being rude. And so, if you are a parent and you're in this predicament where you feel like your child is being rude to you, and just because they're expressing themselves, I would like to let you know they're actually not being rude. Give them the time. Okay, give them the time to express themselves. Okay, like, no shouting. Give them, like, the set what your expectations are. Like, for me, for example, I'm a parent. I have two children. Okay, I have an 8-year-old and I have a 3-year-old, and they both know that you don't shout at me, you don't call me names. Okay, you don't swear. All right, and you don't smack nobody. Like, you don't hit anybody. Yeah, you don't hit me, you don't hit anybody else. Okay, that is the boundaries that I give you. Like, you can express yourself, you can tell me when you don't like something, you can tell me when you want something. I'll tell you, like, okay, you can't have that, or you can have it another time, or you can't have it at all. you know and also be very ready, like, to apologize. Like, I know that's another thing. African parents don't normally, you rarely hear the word sorry. You rarely hear, like, it's literally God who, like, taught me how to say sorry to my children, because you have to see them, like, as people. They're just smaller than you. Okay, but they're still a person. Your child might be smaller than you, younger than you in age and all of that, but they are still a person, the same way you would feel if you were in their space. Like, if you were in their age range, that is how they are going to feel. That's how they feel. So when you speak to them in a harsh way, They will not like it. They'll be upset. It will be emotional impact on them. You know, when you don't allow them to speak, when you call them names, when you know, when you swear at them, all of these kind of things, how you would feel if somebody swore at you, or somebody calls you names and all of this kind of stuff. Names like, oh, you're stupid, or you're dumb, look at you, you know, you're very stupid, you're very this, you're an idiot, you're this, and those kind of names, like how you would feel if somebody called you that. Yeah, if your parent called you that, for example, that is the same way how your children would feel. So be prepared to apologize when you're in the wrong. I know you don't feel like you should apologize, but you should. You know, it teaches them to also be able to apologize to other people. It teaches them to respect other people without being afraid of people, because oftentimes what African parents see as respect is actually not respect, it's actually fear. It's actually fear. Like, you know, I can do what you want without me actually respecting you or honoring you, you know? So what is deemed in a lot of African households as respect or as honor is actually just the children doing it out of fear and out of need to do it, just because if they don't do it, they're gonna get into trouble, you know, and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would say to you, your children are not being rude to you. Take time out to speak to them, how to find out how they feel, to find out what they like, what they don't like, to just listen to them, to just listen to them, like listen to them. And if they do something that you don't like, there is also a way of disciplining them, you know. I always say there's three things. The first time you do something is an opportunity for me to teach you. The second time is for me to remind you. The third time, there is going to be consequence to your behavior. However, you don't just shut them out and you know, punish them for that behavior like straight away. You know, you have to explain to them, and don't just say because I said so. Like, no, let it go beyond I said so, because they don't understand because you said so. Don't do that. Why? Because I said so. No, don't do that because it's not nice. It's rude. I don't like it. It makes me upset. Or the person that you're doing it to doesn't like it, or it's painful to the person, to the other person. It's rude, being rude to the other person. It's not nice. Expand on it. Give them reasons what beyond I said so. Okay? So those are some of the tips that you can take away and actually practice it, and you will see your children will be much more happier, much more confident, much more easy to talk to, especially when they have issues at school or issues even in the home. They'll be more than willing to come to you and share with you and talk to you, even things that they wouldn't normally have spoken to you about, because you've opened up, because you've allowed them to express themselves. They'll be more happy to come to you and talk to you. Like, we're not friends. We're not friends. I am your mom. However, I give you that opportunity to express yourself, you know, because that gives me an opportunity to teach you before somebody else teaches you, to speak to you on certain things before somebody else, whether it's your peer, whether it's a family member, or even you know, school does it or nursery does it, you know. So that gives you a healthy relationship with your child or with your children. You're going to make mistakes, but even when you make your mistakes, be more than willing to say sorry to your children. Even if they're young, you know, like 1 year old, 2 year old, from when they can speak, like, say sorry. Like, don't feel too big to say sorry. And they'll grow up with that, and the more they grow up, the easier it gets, you know. And you'll see the benefit where they're confident to speak to people, to tell other people, not just you, but to even tell other people to the things that they don't like, you know. Don't do that to me because I don't like it. Don't say that because it makes me feel this, and don't call me that because I am not that, I am this, you know. And for example, I'll give the example of my daughter. So, you know, in the UK, people have a tendency of name calling and making it out to be a joke. Oh, look at you, you're silly, you know. No. Like, so when people just said, oh, you know, you're cheeky, they'll say things like that, you know. You're cheeky. And I used to tell my daughter, if somebody tells you you're cheeky, tell them, no, I am not cheeky. Okay. And because before you know it, they begin to develop the pattern according to what they've been called. So and people used to say, you know, how come your daughter is so confident? I'm like, because I don't tell her she's shy. I tell her you're bold, you know, you are confident, you are not shy, and stuff like that. You know, oh, why is she being shy? No, she's not being shy, she just doesn't know you. You're, as far as she's concerned, you're a stranger. Or as far as you're concerned, to him, you're a stranger. It doesn't mean they're shy. Okay, so yeah, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. If you have any more tips for parents out there, put it in the comment section. And if they're too personal for the comment section, feel free to send me a DM in my Facebook, my Twitter, or my Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to respond. But look out for part 2, where it's going to be the children's perspective. I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye.